She buried her husband at sunrise. At dusk, she began to suspect that the man in the coffin wasn't him. Arizona Territory, 1885. Dust swirled in the Gray Hollow Cemetery as Evelyn Rowe watched the freshly closed grave of Marcus, her husband. Dressed in black, her face free of tears, she did not cry. Not yet. But first, enjoy this video and comment on which city you are listening to us from. They said he died in a fire on the road to Whiskey Creek. The carriage destroyed, his body charred. All that remained was a pocket watch with the initials Emumba, Marcus Rowe. That was enough for the people to believe. They buried the sealed coffin. No questions asked, but Evelyn was never one to accept what others said. In the corner of the funeral alone was Thomas Graves, the gravedigger. Tall, quiet, black gloves on his hands. People were afraid of him. They said he talked to the dead. Evelyn didn't care. She needed answers. That night, she returned to the cemetery. She found Thomas throwing dirt on another grave. "Did you see the body?" she asked. He stopped. He replied without emotion. "No one saw it. It was all burned. They buried it with the watch." Evelyn froze. The watch was on the dresser at home. She was sure of it. She ran back. She went inside. She went upstairs. And there it was. The watch, intact, ticking, on the dresser. Her stomach turned. She had buried a stranger. Or worse, someone had faked their death. Suddenly, her grief turned to fear. That same night, she sat on the porch with the gun in her lap. The wind was blowing. The cemetery glowed in the moonlight. Among the gravestones, she saw Thomas standing. He wasn't digging. He wasn't cleaning. He was just staring straight at her. Chapter 2. The next morning, Evelyn didn't go to the market, nor to church. She went straight to the sheriff's office. "I want to exhume the body," she said firmly. Sheriff Collins raised his eyebrows. "Mrs. Rowe, the coffin was closed based on the wreckage. There was no face, no hands." "That's why I want to open it," she replied. "I buried a stranger. I want to know who it is." Collins sighed. He scratched his beard. "It will cause an uproar in town, but if you have a good reason." Evelyn took the watch out of her pocket and placed it on the table. "This is the watch they buried. Only it never left my house." The sheriff's eyes widened. Silently, he picked up his hat and called 2 deputies. An hour later, they were at the cemetery, standing in front of Marcus's grave. The gravedigger was already waiting for them. Thomas Graves stared at them with a neutral expression. "I thought you would come." "Why?" asked Evelyn. "Because the coffin was switched." The silence was brutal. "What do you mean? Switched?" Collins stepped forward. "The coffin I buried wasn't the same one that was in the hearse. Someone tampered with it during the night before the funeral. I told the priest. He told me to forget about it." Evelyn felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. They opened the grave. The coffin was there, but when they opened it, nothing. Just ashes, small bones, probably from an animal. Collins turned pale. "So, Marcus is alive?" Thomas looked at Evelyn, unblinking. "Or someone really wants you to think he's dead?" Evelyn almost fell. The sheriff caught her by the arm. That night, there was a knock at the door. She opened it with a gun in her hand. "Thomas, you need to see this, now." They walked to the back of the cemetery. He took her to an old part where the graves had no names. He stopped in front of one of them. On the ground, fresh footprints, and something left there on purpose. A note, firm handwriting. "Evelyn, I'm sorry. I had no choice." She recognized the handwriting. "Marcus." She turned the note over. There was something stuck to it with wax. A ring. His wedding ring. She pressed it to her chest, trying to contain the turmoil. "Was this today?" she asked. Thomas nodded. "I saw him from afar. He has a beard, traveler's clothes, but it was him." "Why didn't you stop him?" "Because he looked at me with the same eyes you have now, scared and angry about something I still don't understand." She took a deep breath. "Thomas, I want you to help me find him." "Why?" "Because if he faked his own death, someone told him to do it, and I want to know who." Thomas examined the ground. He came on foot. He was alone, but he left no tracks on his way back. So he's still around. "Evelyn," Thomas grabbed her arm. "If he's running away, he must have very good reason." She stared at him firmly. "I'm already in the middle of it, Thomas." A crack, branches breaking. "Is someone listening to us?" Evelyn asked. "If there's anyone out there, you have 3 seconds to come out with your hands up," Thomas said. Silence. Then running footsteps. The two ran after them. It was a boy, skinny, scared. "I heard you talking about Marcus. I saw him yesterday at the old sawmill. He gave me bread. He told me not to tell anyone." Evelyn bent down. "How do you know it was him?" "Because he called me by name, and he gave me this." The boy handed her a note. "Don't trust the judge or the cross he carries. The judge in Prescott wears an iron cross on his chest, just like the one on the coffin," said the boy. Thomas muttered, "The judge had Marcus killed. Or Marcus found out something dirty and ran away," added Evelyn. "Let's go to the sawmill now. Get ready. If we're right, someone will try to stop us." The sawmill cabin was dark. Evelyn opened the door with her gun at the ready. Thomas followed her. Marcus was there, alive, weak but conscious. "You owe me answers," she said. Marcus pointed with difficulty. "You're not alone." He turned me in. Evelyn turned to Thomas. His gaze changed. Cold. "You dug more than graves, didn't you?" she said. Thomas took off his hat. "I was paid to make people disappear. Witnesses, bodies. Judge Crane just gave the orders. I took care of it." "You lied all this time." "I watched. I listened. And when you got too close to the truth, I had to act." "Why did you help me?" she asked. "To make sure you didn't find Marcus, but you're stubborn." She drew her gun. "You're not going to shoot," he said. "Number. But I learned from the best." Marcus pushed a barrel. Thomas turned his face away. Evelyn fired. She hit his shoulder. Thomas fell. She stepped on his arm and disarmed him. "You thought you could bury everything, but you forgot that I'm also the gravedigger's daughter," she said, and she left with Marcus. Days later, Thomas was arrested. Marcus was acquitted. Judge Crane was exposed. Evelyn and Marcus returned to Grey Hollow, not as a widow and a fugitive, but as the only ones who weren't afraid to dig up the truth in the Old West. The end. And of course, if you like stories of courage, duels, and twists and turns that even fate didn't expect, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because here, every week there's a new story to ride with us.